This is where we make our Super Bowl 45 prediction for Sunday's game at Cowboy Stadium. Before we get to the score and who we think, let's analyze the teams, Indy. Let's start with the Packers offense. What do you like? What do you not like?
Well, what I like, obviously, is what everybody likes, the play of Aaron Rodgers as of late, minus the conference championship game where he threw for 2 interceptions. He didn't look that great, but overall he's been playing great ball. He's a top-tier quarterback. He's the type of guy you want leading your team into the biggest game of the season. And what I don't like is the success of James Starks, which sounds crazy, but I don't like a 6th-round rookie who's going to be facing that awesome defense of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I understand he's had some great games. He's gone over 100 yards. But when you're talking about a 6th-round pick out of Buffalo, playing in those other playoff games and in the regular season, you know, it sounds like a good story. But I don't want him leading the way for me in the Super Bowl, especially against that Pittsburgh defense.
He's also got a really good group of receivers to throw to. His offensive line's good. Donald Driver, 34, about to be 35. Chad Clifton, 34, about to be 35. They're happy that those guys are in their first Super Bowl. But you mentioned Pittsburgh's defense. It doesn't matter who Green Bay's got at running back. Nobody runs on the Steelers. They only gave up 65 yards rushing. The Jets had 70, and that's with Sean Green, LaDainian Tomlinson. They don't give up much per carry. So it looks to me like it's going to be all Rodgers. What do you think about the defense coached by Dick LeBeau, who's just about as good as there's ever been?
Well, the defense is awesome. And when you talk about, you know, it's in the hands of Aaron Rodgers, he better be doing a lot of 3-step drops because they want him to do the 5 to 7-step drops so Lamar Woodley, James Harrison, and the rest of those outside linebackers and defensive linemen can get after Aaron Rodgers. So I think what they're going to have to do is a lot of quick pass, 3-step rhythm passes, because if they get back there and he tries to pat the ball, then the next pat's going to be a helmet to his back with Lamar Woodley or James Harrison. So Aaron Rodgers is definitely a guy who could lead a team, but that defense is just awesome. The names go on and on from Troy Polamalu to Casey Hampton, and I think this is – throw all the stats out. I don't even know where they ended up in the regular season. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers have the most impressive defense in the NFL.
Well, I can tell you they were second in yards. They were first in points allowed, number 1 in run defense. You mentioned Casey Hampton. I got an email the other day from a reader. He said, what do you think about Casey Hampton's chances of being a Hall of Fame? And all of a sudden I thought, there has been no true 3-4 nose tackle in the Hall of Fame. Now, I covered Curly Cup when he was with the Oilers. There's a big push coming up for Joe Klecko, but Casey's been doing this a long time. And I think that he should have as good a chance as anybody because he takes up 2 blockers every play, and that's what the nose tackle is required to do. Is there an unsung hero on Pittsburgh's defense that you can think of that might – I think of Ryan Clark, the free safety. And is there one you like in this game that might surprise people?
I'll go with Kiesel, the defensive end. This is a guy, he had a 70-yard touchdown in the 3rd week of the season. He's just a grinder. You know, he's a blue-collar guy. You see him with his big Bushman beard, but he plays his gaps. He does his run responsibility, and he doesn't get much notoriety, but he was added to the Pro Bowl this year, so people are starting to realize how effective and how great of a team player he is.
Okay, Pittsburgh's offense against Green Bay's defense. Green Bay's great defense, second in points allowed to Pittsburgh. How will Ben Roethlisberger and Rashard Mendenhall and his receivers move the ball against the Packers?
Well, I think they need to move the ball with Rashard Mendenhall. I don't think they need to put it in the hands of Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger is a gamer. He's going to make a big play that's going to affect the outcome of the game sometime within those 60 minutes. So I don't think they have to force the game into Ben Roethlisberger's hands. I think they just need to feed Mendenhall, try to weaken that defense, and then when they catch them on their heels, you go along with Mike Wallace or any of those speed burners that they have on the Pittsburgh offense. And when you look at Pittsburgh, you just think of defense, but these guys, Ben Roethlisberger, he's not a huge stat guy, but he's a gamer. Mike Wallace, I believe, had over 1,200 yards receiving. Mendenhall had a quiet 1,200 yards rushing this year. They have some offensive powers. They have offensive threats, and they're going to need to utilize them against the great Green Bay defense.
One of the things about Green Bay's defense, of course, is pass rush. If you're going to run a 3-4, you got to get to the quarterback. What can they do to try to neutralize Clay Matthews III?
A lot of misdirection, a lot of double teams, and using his aggressiveness against him. And what I mean by that, you let him rush upfield, then you throw the screen pass, and you get him thinking that, you know what, I can't be so aggressive, or they're just going to hit me with a little dump pass, and I'm already behind the man, and that's how you get a lot of yards. So they're going to have to play with his mind. They're going to have to go at him. You can't be afraid of him because most of his sacks are hustle sacks, and it's from him running around and giving second and third effort to get his sacks. So I think you go right at him and use his aggressiveness against him.
Okay, give me a score. Who do you think is going to win?
You know what? Again, I talked about earlier in the show, this is a great team effort on Pittsburgh's behalf. I think overall Pittsburgh has the better team, but with two great defenses, I'm not expecting a barn burner. I have Pittsburgh winning 21-17.
I'm going to say the Steelers 20-17.